that you can hear me. I'm sorry for taking time. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, let's delve right in. While I'm still trying to connect my PC, because right now I'm joining with my device. I'm trying to set up my PC, so let's start. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we will look at three things. We'll talk about it a lot more, but I just summarized all the objectives into these three. So we'll look at how to critically and appraise topics, how to develop topics and critically appraise them, how to, we'll understand the concept of literature review, and then we will understand the steps in doing a good literature review. Next slide, please. So the first step, I would love it to be as interactive and engaging as possible. So we will be doing lots of practicals, and that is going to take us so much time. So if you've not eaten, you have to put your food beside you, because I would likely take time in this class. So the first step in your topic development is that you have to organize your ideas. Those things popping up in your mind, usually they are fueled by your area of interest. I mean, are you interested in universal health coverage? Or maybe you are just wondering um, why we have to pay for healthcare services. Just anything. Okay, let's practicalize. Just in the chat box, just give me any idea that pops in your mind. It could be something that interests you. I want us to form a topic right now so that you can appreciate it. Just give me any idea, anything that you're interested in. Maybe you saw something and it inspired you. Just give me anything in the chat box, please. Still waiting. Maybe if I don't get anyone, I would proceed, but I really wanted you to appreciate the entire process. Okay, maybe we should proceed. I don't want to waste time, but I was saying that you should give me any idea that comes into your mind. We want to practically develop a topic, and I really want you to appreciate it. So that's why I wanted to take all the processes. So just give me an idea, something that interests you, a field of study that you're interested in. Yeah, somebody says malaria in Nigeria. Very interesting. Now I have picked that as the first step, an idea. So usually, in this idea, there has to be a problem in this idea. So can you pick out a problem. A research is problem inclined. The research wants to solve a problem. So even if you are not very specific about the problem you want to solve, just arbitrarily mention any problem about malaria you want to solve. Even if it's not very specific, I just want something we can work with. Okay, let's say I'm still waiting for him. Okay, let's say he's interested in ways to very good. So let's say he's just thinking why people are dying in his community or in his country. He maybe is looking at the malaria burden in Nigeria, and it's just why are so many people dying of malaria? So what can we do to reduce malaria or probably completely eliminate it? So that is you started thinking like a researcher. So that is the first step. The second step is do some background research, know what has been done already. So remember, you're asking yourself, now, what can we do to reduce or elevate or completely eliminate malaria in our community? So you do some background research. What are you searching for at this stage? You're checking if Fortune, if Effiong, if Wally, if Adams have done anything on it before, right? You're checking if Ibrahim, you're checking what other persons have done, because you would like to come from what is known to what is not known. So the next step is you organize your topic question, because when you go through what is already done, you would know a particular gap that has not been filled. Maybe, let's say, effective ways to tackle malaria. You've noticed that maybe the approaches to tackling malaria has been focused on distribution of insecticide-treated nets. It has been focused on distribution of ACTs. It has been focused on indoor residual spraying. Those are actually WHO top 3 strategies. Maybe you feel that this is not enough, that we should invest more in health education and sensitization. So you feel, okay, we want to explore on the health education aspect of eliminating malaria. So you now do an in-depth analysis to look at the feasibility. What kind of research do I want to do? Do I want to do a primary research? Will I pick the or medical analysis? Yeah, maybe knowledge or perception, or to know what they have been research. I just want to write a commentary. I want to write an essay process, deciding what particular type of article you should write. Think about the feasibility. Do I have expertise and materials and resources and time to do this research? So this is what you consider. So having put all these things into consideration, you will gradually come down to the last step. Okay, write down your topic. So I'll say, I'm just going to try something now based on what Adam suggested. Most effective way to tackle malaria. Let's assume I want to write a secondary research, let's say commentary. So the type of article that you're writing will determine how you craft your topic. So let's say I want to write a commentary and I'm like, malaria elimination in sub-Saharan Africa. They need to, I'm sorry, I've not thought about this, but let me say they need to invest more in and have not really had up to be better. Malaria elimination in sub-Saharan Africa, they need to invest more in health education. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay. I kind of developed, somebody said my line is breaking. I want to confirm if this is true for any other person. So this is a checklist for developing your topic. The first thing is, have you done a literature review? Have you found a gap to fill and written a clear question? Have you, oh, Musa says my line is breaking too. Or is it a question? I don't understand the raising of hand. I have included a population for my study. My topic and concise, and it's feasible in terms of time. So one thing, you have to compare your topics to other topics online and topics in journals, topics in articles to know if you are correctly framing your topic. Yes, and if it is grammatically correct, if it is scientifically sound, you don't just formulate a topic. So kind of look at how other topics are crafted, and it will help you in developing your own. I think you want to ask a question, Abu Bakr. Please go ahead. Yeah, maybe it's a mistake. I thought you wanted asking a question. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. It's also resources are there for you for your consumption. And literature review or search is a way of you, out of the million resources that are there, you picking the one that is necessary and relevant. Necessary meaning you need it and it's important for your study. Relevant, yes, it's important in that time. You need another particular time. Necessary. I think, yeah. I mean, it could be something that is close to what you want, it can be what you want, but because it's maybe outdated, you will not need it. So we'll look at how we can search online. I'll be using Pubmed for today. So a literature review, I always say, is key to writing a good research because research wants to come from what is known to what is not known. So if you have your argument. Let's say research, sometimes I take it like argument. If you have enough argument, then your chances of winning is higher. If you have enough materials, enough points, then your argument is more convincing. So where we will decide if you have enough argument or enough points is in your literature review, and that's why it's super, super, super important that you do a good literature review. Next slide, please. Yes, somebody else is complaining that my sound is not clear. Is that true, please?
Yes, actually, your line is breaking. I don't know if, I think it's network problem.
Sorry about that. I would see. Wow. Okay, people are complaining a lot. So you formulating a well-defined and focused question is an important step to a good research. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Okay, so these are the steps in conducting that you choose a topic and then you search and define. I want to confirm if the quality of my sound has improved, please. Next slide. Hello, next slide. Okay, so the first step is in choosing topic. You choose an area. We've done this already. It's just it's steps. So next slide, please.
Hello, excuse
slide, please.
Hello. We actually can't hear you. I think maybe I don't know what we should do. Maybe you should just rejoin. Maybe.
So the review that is where can I get my materials, where can I get my articles from? We have offline sources and then we have online sources. Next slide. Hello, next slide. The example of offline sources are books, magazines, newspapers, etc. Yes, your textbooks, we're talking about your textbooks, we're talking about newspapers, for example, and your newspapers like Vanguard, but it's not all the newspapers and it's not all the books that you have to use. Of course, you have to please just give me a minute. I am going to change right now from my phone to my PC. So recording in progress. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, please? I think network will be better now. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, fine. Then let me share my screen, please. You will stop sharing, Cyclone. Let me share my screen. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so please, can you see my screen? I would appreciate a sound so that I'll be sure I can also hear you very well. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay, so we have looked at books, newspaper, etc. Online sources are government websites. We have academic platforms and we have academic databases. Example of website are government websites like WHO. For those of us that are in health, you really make use of WHO website in so many of your papers. And then you also make use of newspapers like Vanguard, like any newspaper at all that is globally or nationally recognized is fine. So we'll also look at academic platforms. I would encourage all of us to have a ResearchGate account and academia account. Recently, I think that's today, somebody was just trying to tell me how you can get a ResearchGate account with LinkedIn. I mean, if you don't have an institutional email, because what we know is that you need to have an institutional email to a ResearchGate account. So he was just trying to put me through today. In fact, he gave me a video. So if you're interested, you can send me a message later. I would share the video with you so that if you cannot get institutional email, you can still open your ResearchGate account. In academia, these are platforms that I encourage you to belong to because you will share your work there and other authors will see. And also you will you have free access to materials that are published or uploaded there. So you realize that if you don't have a ResearchGate account, you will not have full access to downloading materials there. You can only read. Now, academic databases, in what you've seen here, it's only Google Scholar and Pubmed that are free. MBase, Web of Science and Scopus, they are not free. But usually what we do is that we look for people who have access to Scopus and we make them assist us in our literature review. Because if you are from LMIC, if you're a researcher, a student in LMIC, you may not really have access to Scopus. So you need to get it from maybe your lecturer or other students in developing countries that are your friends. So we will look at search strategies. I will rush through them. So many of these things, I mean, these search strategies, we'll appreciate them when we do the practical. There is a chat, there's a message in the chat box. Okay, you're interested in the video about ResearchGate. Somebody just messaged me. So later you can get my contact from Wally Adams or whoever is the moderator for today, and I'll share it with you. So the first thing in search strategy is keywords, play around with keywords. We'll learn about these in a moment when we get to Pubmed. Sorry, somebody said it's interested. Don't worry, you get it. Then the next one, don't worry, we'll talk more about the search strategies. Next thing is truncation. Yes, please. Next thing is truncation and wildcards. This truncation is just when a particular word has many possible variables. I don't know the right word to use. Let's see. Let me show you something. Look at this word: therapy, therapeutical, therapist. Right? So you can see this therapy, therapist. So if you want to perform a search, and instead of writing all these things, you can just say Terra, put a truncation, and it should bring out other possibilities. There's a particular word for it, but is it viable? So I cannot. It is not coming to my mind now, but I'm sure that you understand. So wildcards, on the other hand, wildcards, they are used for finding variations in English between British and American spellings. For example, you can see behavior.
the American will say it's IOR, the British will say IOUR. And because articles published in English can be published in any type of English. It could be American, it could be British, it could even be Canadian. And some of these have slight variations. So for you to be sure that you're getting all possible variations, just put a wildcard. I would stop at some point and we take questions before we go for practical. We'll take exercise, I'll ask you questions, and then you ask me a question before we proceed. But let's talk about the Boolean logic. These things you will appreciate them when we start the practical. If you type, let me type it here. Don't worry, we will go to Pubmed. But let me say cancer and mobile. No. Yes, cancer and mobile phones, for example. It means you're saying that the browser or the database should bring articles that have both terminologies, cancer and these logics, these markers, these operators, you don't write them in small letters, you write them in capital letter. But I learned recently, whether or not you write in small letter, in capital letter, Pubmed or not it, but I'm not very sure about that. So if you use OR, it means that you're telling Pubmed to bring articles that concern either mobile phones or cancer, meaning Pubmed will bring all articles that have cancer and all articles that have mobile phones. And if you bring not, that means you don't want articles that have a particular word. If I say cancer, NOT, sorry, we don't say not, because if you say not, you're talking about small letter NOT. You call it NOT, then you call this OR, you call this AND. You mean you're telling Pubmed to bring articles that have cancer, but not leukemia. Citation searching, I think I use this a whole lot. You can, what I like calling snowballing. Snowballing is actually a type of research design, but I always use it. It's just a personal term or personal terminology. I use it for citation. So if I get a particular article that is relevant to me, I can get so many articles from that particular article. So we will also look at that. Okay, so we are there. But before we go into practicals, I want to take questions so far. If it is not in topic, development and appraisal, it can be in literature review. Please, questions. I think somebody's trying to speak. If you cannot speak, you can type it in. Okay, without questions, I will ask my own question. I'll ask my own question. And I don't know, I'll give a prize. Anybody that gets it correct, I would give a prize. The prize may not be monetary. I would do something. I'll do something for you. Yeah, somebody's okay. I think somebody's trying to say something. God knows Samson. Maybe he's trying to type. Okay, so while we're waiting for him to type, my first question, I hope you're ready. Give me 3 databases that you can do your literature review with. 3 databases that can be used for literature review. 3 databases, you can type it in the chat box. I'm waiting. 3 databases that we can use for literature review. means that we are not following the class. No, somebody's sending me a direct message. Please make it to send it to everyone. I've gotten my first response from Martina, Pubmed, Google Scholar. Somebody said government website. So you failed. Bukola or Monijo. You failed. Government website, not a database. It's an online source. Pubmed, Google Scholar, correct? Correct. The person that said Google's government website is not correct. Okay, so we talked about. I'm thinking of saying this one, but I'm afraid you shouldn't take your time. You shouldn't take your time to answer. Okay, give me, before we get to that one, give me 3 Boolean operators. 3 Boolean operators. And then I will just take first two. Okay, Bukola got it. Martina Mojaneta. Fatima, forgive me for pronouncing your name wrongly. Then, okay, give me a truncation symbol that is mostly used. In fact, the one that you've been taught in this training, a truncation. Okay, Wally just got that one immediately. Okay, give me the wildcard symbol. Wildcard symbol. Wildcard. Okay, very good. You're a very intelligent student. Then, okay. We talked about steps, checklist of, steps in crafting or developing your topic or appraising your topic. Can you just give me one? You give me one and that person gives me one. Very soon I'll start calling names because I am noting those that are answering and I know those that are not answering. Organize your topic ideas. Fatima, choose an area of interest. Martina. Okay, the session is recorded. There's a message somebody's sending to me. So I'm responding to the person. The session is recorded, so you get it later. Organize a topic question from Bukola Omoniji. Bukola has answered almost 3 questions. I am noting the people that are answering questions. I'm gonna give them something. Even if it is coin your topic from that gap, do an in-depth research. Okay, Fatima Gambo. Even if it is recharge card of 20 naira, yeah, it's something. Okay. So we will go on with the practical. We'll go on with the practical. I think you fall in very well. There are a lot of things I want to teach you today. Hopefully we'll have the strength to go through. And hopefully our devices are charged. So I'm down to my Chrome now. Please, can you see my Chrome screen, please? If somebody says I should have review, they want to meet. I'm sorry. You will have to follow the recordings later. Can you see my Chrome screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So you remember I told you about Scholar.Google that is free. You can use this guy for your search. Just search scholar.google.com, then come to the search. I'm not going to do any practical with Google Scholar. I just want to show you how to do a simple search. Then let's prospect of malaria vaccination in Nigeria. This one you can search like this. You can use keywords, whichever one you want. So this is Google Scholar. I'm not looking for it for anything. Okay, I remember there's something I should show you in this Google Scholar. Now, okay, no, let me not use this one. Let me use poliomyelitis amid COVID-19. I'm sorry, there's something I mentioned in the slide and I want to show you. So this is a paper called Poliomyelitis and Measles COVID-19 Pandemic in Africa, Efforts, Challenges, and Recommendations. Remember, I told you one way to get articles is to do what I call snowballing. You go to a particular article and you get many articles from there. So when you open this, when you look at this, you see save, you see cite, you see cited by, open cited by. You see the articles that have cited this poliomyelitis and go through them, go through their title, we'll go to the stages of appraisal. Oh, it's in our presentation. You will see the 3 stages of appraisal. So you check the title, you check the abstract, and you might see a paper that you need. Now, apart from that, you can open this paper. I'm opening poliomyelitis now. I want to open it. I've showed you one way to get similar articles. Then go to the reference section of this poliomyelitis paper. Now, reference section will take you to similar articles behind, but cited by will take you to similar articles in front. This is in Science Direct, and the full text. Let me see if I can access the full text. Okay, you know that I don't need to do that. Just go to the reference section of this paper, and then you would see similar papers behind. All right, so let's go to Pubmed. It's really Pubmed that we want to use today. So usually when you just search Pubmed, it will come out, or you can, the homepage website is called pubmed.ntbi.nlm.nih.gov. But if you cannot remember that, once you just search Pubmed, it will, the first web page that you would see is the one that has the Pubmed homepage. I want to be sure that everybody's full in. So if you are full in, just give me I in the chat box.
Hey,
Thank you. I have so many I. So I'm opening Pubmed. Now, let me talk about Pubmed and Google Scholar briefly before we continue. People like Pubmed because, yeah, the time will come where you have to choose which one should be my principal source of principal database, Pubmed or Google Scholar. Now, one thing you should know is that it's great if you can combine both. And also, your regular Google search is very good. Please don't underestimate it. It's not every time you need to go to Google Scholar. Let me show you something. Okay, no, this is my email. So, if you try your regular Google search, sorry, prospect of malaria vaccination in Nigeria, you would always see results because there may be articles that may not be indexed in Pubmed, and they are very important. So don't always restrict your attention and focus to Pubmed. Look at this is just because I'm searching for a very specific article I included by Effiong, and that's why I just bringing out my article. If you just say malaria vaccination, this is my regular Google search, malaria vaccination, you see the tons of resources that will come for you. You see the tons of resources that will come. So don't restrict your attention to Pubmed or Google Scholar. Why I like Google Scholar over Pubmed is that Google Scholar, Pubmed will only give you papers that are published in journals that are indexed in Pubmed. Whereas Google Scholar doesn't have that bias. It will give you, it can bring out any type of paper that you want, whether or not the paper is published in a Pubmed index journal. This might be very confusing until you do your module or your class on research publication. So look at searching malaria vaccination. You can see this is a scientific paper where you see RTSS, PATH malaria vaccine initiative. This is likely to be scientific paper. But if you want it to be more specific, because you notice it's also bringing web articles. If you want it to be specific to scientific paper, you can add scholarly, something like that, or papers. I don't know, but I'm sure of scholar. If you add scholarly to malaria vaccination, it will bring out papers published in journals. So let's go to our PubMed. What do we need to learn in this PubMed? Yes, you can just search. Okay, just give me anything to search. Please just give me anything to search in the chat box. Just type out anything you want us to search. Monkeypox. Okay, can you add something? Monkeypox cancer disease, side effect of immunization. Okay, can I have another one? I was thinking you would, assume you want to do a research and you want to talk about monkeypox on words. Or what do you want to learn about monkeypox? So I kind of need other words. Cancer disease, leukemia. I don't need words. Because if you type leukemia, to bring out millions and millions, what exactly you want to research in leukemia? I think I should go with this person that said side effects of, okay, outbreak and spread of Ebola. I just like this one. Outbreak. Now, one thing in searching, you may not need to write outbreak and you may not write the and. Just write, take note of your keywords. What are your keywords? Outbreak, right? What is another keyword? Spread. What is another keyword? Ebola. Remember the first step I said that you have to identify your keywords and play around with keywords. What does play around with keywords mean? We'll learn more about that. So outbreak, spread, Ebola, these are my keywords. I just click on search. Now you might, because the articles you may be seeing might not be what you want, because maybe you're not using the right keywords. So you need to start thinking, what is a synonym of outbreak? What is the synonym of spread or Ebola? If a paper is not using Ebola, will it use Ebola virus disease? Will it use EVD? Will it use what are the, for example, in COVID, you can see COVID, you can see SARS-CoV-2 disease, something like that. So you need to play around with these keywords. Apart from thinking about it, there is how you can get keywords from mesh. So let me type it out. It's called mesh. I will show you that one too. Now, determinants of spread of Ebola virus disease and evidence from the past. So you can see lots and lots of articles here. There are 3 stages of screening because you can read, look at this, there are 828 results. You can read all of them. So there are levels of appraisal. I am going to teach you that too. So now, have you ever tried downloading an article and you realize that you cannot because the article is not free for you? Have you? I just need a response, yes. Or have you had such experience? You tried downloading, okay, somebody has responded. Yes, okay, good, great. So I'm gonna show us how we can, a lot. I'm gonna show us how we can get articles for free, but it doesn't work 100%. And of course, we expect nothing really works 100%. It has limitations. There are some articles it cannot fish out. It's a trick we learn in academia. Luckily, I learned it very early and I've been using it. So now, how do you know an article that is free? If you check this article, you can see where it says free article, meaning that if you click on it, you can, I have opened that particular article, you can download it directly for free. Everything is for free. You come to where you have full text links, you click there and you download it. You can read the abstract, then you download it if you need it. Then another thing, this is just another way of getting more articles. You can see where Pubmed says similar articles. Evolution of Ebola viruses, look at all of them here. Okay. Now, just explore. I think it's a lot about exploring. Now, see where we have mesh terms. This is going to give you similar keywords. Remember we talked about keywords, playing around with keywords. It's going to give you similar keywords that you can use in searching. Now you can see Africa, Western epidemiology, communicable disease transmission, Ebola virus isolation. So I don't know if somebody can see this match, so you can appreciate it. Look at different things you can use to search. Hemorrhagic fever is telling you that, oh, look, from what I noticed is that most authors will not, I'm saying what Mesh would probably say. Most authors didn't use Ebola, they use hemorrhagic fever. Most authors didn't use something else, they use Ebola virus and so on and so forth. So you can check for more by, sorry. You can also check synonyms of these articles, or you can go to the Mage database itself and you would see more, you would see ways of getting more keywords. I don't want to go into that. Now, I wanted to show us how to get articles for free. Let me go to an article that is not free. And remember, disclaimer, I've told you that it doesn't work for all. So if I, on my first try, on my first article, it doesn't work, don't think I'm teaching you a wrong trick. Okay, so this is a free article. This is free article, free. Now you can see this one, Ebola virus, current and future perspective. You cannot see any free attached. So let's try our trick with this. I really hope it works on this because this is like the first. So now we have opened that article. Can you see this article, Ebola virus, current and future perspective? Just give me a yes. Now, yes, somebody has responded. Great. Thank you. Thank you very much. So now under these, okay, above these, you can see what we have, what we call DOI. DOI is like NIN. If you're Nigerian, you will know what NIN is. It's like your identity number. It is what makes you Nigerian. No two persons can have the same NIN. No two articles can have the same DOI. So you copy this DOI. Now this DOI, if you just copy it and search in Google, it will just bring out that paper direct, unless there's something wrong with that DOI, unless the DOI is not correct. But if you just search the DOI alone, it will bring out that article. So ignore this calculator. Do you know why it's calculating? Because there's a division sign, 10.2174. It's interpreting as divided by. But go down, you would see it has brought out the article, Ebola virus, current and future perspective, and look at it here. So now, if it is not free, and you search it on Google, because sometimes it may not be free in PubMed, but the authors had put it on ResearchGate. Look at it here on ResearchGate. If you're on ResearchGate, you can go and download this article from here. That's if the author had put the full text, because sometimes authors will put only abstracts. Okay, so now, sorry, my system is just malfunctioning. So this is a site, sci-up dot excuse me, because sci-up.se, you click on it, Okay, so this is it. This is it. Can everybody see this side hub? Yes. Okay. And everybody see side hub? Yes. So I like to be sure that you're following me. So you click, you paste the DOI, then you click open. And if it opens, we would say bingo. If it doesn't, we'll say, how do we say that one? If it doesn't open, what do we say? Okay, so bingo, it has opened. You can now download it from Sci-Hub. It doesn't work for all articles, but you have to really, really pray that it works for that article that you want. So we will just move ahead. We're done with this. So let's practice the Boolean Logic and a few other things in Google Scholar, because you really need for your short articles and maybe some original research. You may not really need this. You really need them if you want to start writing systematic reviews. So let's talk say cancer and mobile. Sorry, for some reason my PC is malfunctioning. Cancer. Sorry, I'm experiencing that issue with my system. Cancer and mobile health. I think I'll just try one and then be okay. Before then, let me show you cancer mobile health. As mean this was your key word. Let me show you something. If you want to know how Pubmed generated the result, you will go to advanced. Right, so now look at, you come to details. When you click on this arrow on that search, you would see exactly how Pubmed generated the result. I think it used cancer and used OR. That means any article that has cancer or cancerated, or OR, canceration. So just explore this thing. It's just telling you how PubMed generated those articles. This is very beautiful. So PubMed is very intelligent, and instead of mobile health, it is bringing telemedicine, because it feels that, oh, look, this is a mesh term. This is what mesh told me, that mobile health is also used in place of, telemedicine is used in place of mobile health. So this is what it's using. Telemedicine is using health, mobile health, neoplasms. This is a terminology for cancer. So this is how PubMed makes the search. So let's go back to our slide. I don't want to dwell more on the Boolean logic. It's something that you should explore. So remember, PubMed also have filters where you can filter the type of article that you want. You can filter the dates. Maybe you want articles only from 2010. All those features are available. Let's go back to our slides. From the practical, before we proceed, is there any question, please? question from the practical or feedback. If you just give me your feedbacks, if you're learning already, if you're learning new things, just give me your feedback. Or if you have any experience to share, very short, very briefly, before we proceed. Not getting any review, not getting any feedback. Oh, okay. You appreciate the practical. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Idris. Just one more, please, before we proceed. Wally, okay, that is true. Okay, now the step 4, remember there were steps in literature review. This is step 4. What we just finished was search strategies, how to play around with a whole lot of things. For me, my biggest weapon is I don't really use those Boolean logics. My biggest weapon is actually keywords. I try as much as possible to change so many keywords. Now, because you cannot exhaust 8 million articles that will come out from Pubmed, you can exhaust 500, 800, 60, 70, 50. So the first thing I would always advise, have a benchmark number of articles you want to consult before you even start your literature review. You can say, in this my literature review exercise, I want to consult 10 articles, 15 articles. I want to study and make notes. I want to study and make notes from or with 10 to 15 articles or 20. It will depend on the scope of what you want to write. It will depend on the section you're writing. It will depend on the question you want to answer. So you have to discuss that with yourself. Why you should have a baseline number of articles is so that you don't get overwhelmed with materials on the web, because there are so many. And then have a scope. You can say, I want to talk about only recent materials. I want many reviews, those kind of things. So you need to agree these things before you even start your appraisal or before you even start your literature review. So the first thing is topic appraisal. So topic appraisal, what do? You read the topic, applications of telemedicine in infectious disease outbreaks. Do I need it? No. If it is no, you ignore it, then you go to the next article on the list. But if it is yes, you open the abstract and read the abstract. The abstract gives you a screen, how do we call that thing? A screenshot or a summary of what the article is all about. So if the abstract is appealing to you, you're okay, I think makes sense. It is something I would need. You can go ahead to read the full text. But if you read the abstract, you're like, no. Then you ignore that particular article. You go to the next article on your list. So now for the full text appraisal, there are 2 ways. You can do it online there and make your notes online. For some of us that like to download, you can, when you pass the abstract appraisal, going through the full text appraisal, I can just download it and keep. Okay, I'll come back to it later. I like downloading all my articles. The articles that I want to use, I download all of them, save them in a particular folder, then come back to studying them one after the other. So now in the full text, when you're reading your literature, it's not everything that you need. I forgot to include that slide. You don't need to read everything because scientific papers can be very boring. You don't need to read everything from introduction to discussion. You get tired, you get overwhelmed, you feel bored. You should focus on the section that you want. If I want, somebody just give me a research topic. Just give me a research topic in the chat box, please. Maybe you've worked on it before, or you want to work on it. Okay, I'll start mentioning names. When I mention your name, you give me a topic. We have adverse effect of smoking, side effect of, this person is mentioning the side effect of immunization for the second time. Is it a research you're working on? I'm interested. Okay, side effect of immunization, but this is not really a research topic because research topic must have a specific problem. It must have a specific population. You can say side effect of immunization, and you'll have to specify which immunization. There's a side effect of COVID-19 immunization in what population? In maybe pregnant women. Beautiful. So now, side effect of immunization in pregnant women. If you want to have background information of what immunization is all about, maybe you don't know what immunization is all about, then once you do your literature search, the information on what immunization is all about is most likely to be found in the background or introduction section of the papers you're downloading. I'm sorry, I missed that slide. You should have seen it. The information containing background of immunization, you will see it in the introductory section. But then if you want to know side effect of immunization on or in pregnant women, what have other authors found out? You would see that in the results and the discussion section of the paper. So if I want to know a paper specific information, I just want to know side effect of immunization. I already know what immunization is all about. I already know the background and everything. I may not need to read the introduction. I just go straight to the result and discussion session or section of that paper and read. If I want to know the side effect of immunization on maybe children and other people, you can still see it in the result and discussion section of the paper. When I read methodology is when I want to confirm something, or why did this thing happen like this? I'm in the result now, I'm in the discussion. Why did this thing happen like this? What did they do? I go back. Or I want to replicate a similar study. That is when I go to the methodology. So that is it. You don't need to read everything. Otherwise, you get very bored. So you read the points and summarize what you need, and you paraphrase. Very important, always paraphrase. And then you cite properly. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the end of our class, unless you have questions. Questions, please. I really love questions because if you don't have questions, it might mean that you did not understand anything. Asking questions is a sign of understanding. It's also possible if you don't have question, it means you understood everything. So there are two possibilities. You don't ask question, you understood everything. You don't ask question, you didn't understand anything. So it's question time. But while I'm waiting for the question to come, you can, okay, Idris, go ahead. You can unmute yourself and speak. Or you type it, whichever is convenient for you. Is somebody hearing Idris because I cannot hear him? So, appraisal is like evaluation. It's just English. It's just vocabulary. Appraisal, you looking at something and thinking, am I doing it right? Is it correct? Have I ticked everything in my checklist? What could be wrong? How can I make it better? All those things are component of appraisal. Trying to understand the suitability and the necessity, the importance of what you're doing. I want to read this question now. Thank you. Thank you very much for your feedback. The part of reference. Oh, yeah, references. Takes one backward. Okay. 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 Actually, references and citation, I want to believe that it's one of there is a module on that. Adams, you can help me confirm that there is a module on references and citation for this course. You'd get there. But what I was saying, forward citation and backward citation, is that is how to get more articles, what I call snowballing. So if I get a paper like prospect of malaria vaccination, if I want to get papers that have cited it, similar papers that have cited it, that is, these papers are written after my paper. These papers are written after my paper, and they make use of my paper. I would go to the cited by feature that is available in Google Scholar or Pubmed. But then if I want to get similar articles behind my paper, papers that were published behind my paper, I'll go to the references section of that my paper. So I don't know if you understand, Rita. That's what I mean by backward. If you go to the reference section of the paper, you are consulting papers that were published before that paper. If you go to the cited by feature in Google Med or PubMed, you're consulting papers that have been published after that paper. And these are similar papers. So it's like getting one paper that will give you so many papers. Okay, yes. Adams have responded. So Rita, I want to know if your question have been answered. Okay, thank you very much. Any other question? I'm trying to be very time conscious because I know some of us are Christians and you have to prepare for church tomorrow. He said the research topic have to be specific. Can you explain more? Thank you very much. Let me scroll up to one. Okay. Look at what somebody said. Something about side effect of immunization. Maybe telling me side effect of immunization. I have tons of questions for you. Side effect of immunization on whom? So remember, I gave a checklist that there must be a population in a research. There must be a population. Yes, recording we made available. There must be a population for your research, the population where you are doing that research on. So side effect of immunization on pregnant women, that is not even your population, that's like your subject. So that has to also be considered depending on the type of research. Side effect of immunization on pregnant women in sub-Saharan Africa. That's a population, because it might be difficult for you to study side effects of immunization on all pregnant women in the world or on or globally. Sometimes there are research that are globally, but you have to state it that this research is a global research. I'm checking all the countries or 15 countries, something like that, transnational. The fact is that there must be a population. Tell us where this research is covering. And then when you say side effect of immunization, what type of immunization? Is it COVID? Is it polio? And so on and so forth. Now, I would further ask you, what type of side effect are you talking about? Because I could say there are mental side effects, there are physical side effects, there are tons and tons of other side effects. And do you want to evaluate all the side effects? Now, the larger your scope, the more robust your study is. Studies that have large scope are usually systematic reviews and maybe randomized control trials, possibly. Yeah. But studies that you can do as a student are mostly short communications and maybe primary research, like perspective of medical laboratory science students on monkeypox, medical laboratory science student in Nigeria, monkeypox, something like that. perception of hypertension among Nigerian youth. These are research that you can lay your hands on at this stage, and they have to be very, very specific. They have to have a small scope. So I don't know if I have answered your question, please, Abbas. Mojanatu Abbas. I'm sure this is not Nigerian, right? Abbas. The Abbas sounds like Nigerian, but the first name is not. That's just by the way, anyway. I don't know if I've answered your question. Abbas has not answered. You have, okay, it's Nigerian. I'm wondering what part of Nigeria, please. Is it possible for you to answer that? Any other question, please? Okay, northern part. Interesting. But the second name is, oh, okay. The second name is name in a Bible where I'm from. So short form for Abasifreke. That's by the way, please. Any other question? We are done. So of course you can always reach out to me, and there will be a mentorship program after this training. I'll be fortunate to be a supervisor. I will still get in touch with so many of you, and I'll be available to answer your questions. Okay, Adams, let me do a quick recap, then we end it in the absence of any question. Somebody's trying to reach out. Okay, so we have looked at the steps in conducting or in developing a topic. There are 5: organize, do background research, organize your question, do an in-depth research, and formulate your topic. Then the checklist, please, you get the slides after, because I have been using this checklist in our previous mentorship programs, and it has been working. I compared it to when I didn't give the students any checklist, and the way they formulated their topic was much better with the checklist. So you go through the checklist. Then we look at literature review. Is simply taking what you want from a whole lot that exists. We looked at the steps: choose topic, database, refine and search, read, analyze, take notes. There are offline and online sources, books, newspapers. You will learn how to cite books and newspapers and all those things in the class on citation. Online sources, remember what I said about ResearchGate. Academia, I don't think there is any logic to registering. I think it's just demands email. No, I think it needs institutional email address. I cannot remember. It has been a long time. Google Scholar, Pubmed are free. The rest are not free. You can get access through somebody that has access. So you have to know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody sometimes to get it done. So play around with keywords. Very important. You can also use quillboards. I actually used this in paraphrasing. I don't know if the spelling is correct. It's either is double L, quillboard.com to get synonyms. Or you can just, oh, sorry, I sent that as a direct message mistakenly. You can use quillboard.com. I don't know if it is double L, quillboard.com, not .com. I don't know if it's double L or one L. It should be double L. You can use it to get keywords, to get synonyms. I actually use it in paraphrasing, so I'm teaching you something you should learn in the class on paraphrasing. So the access strategies, we have talked about truncation, talk about wildcards. I have not used them because of time. There are things that you can explore and you'll enjoy exploring it by yourself. Talk about Boolean operators, talking about citation searching. This is the forward and backward citation. I was talking about what I call snowball citation. I don't think it's a terminology in research. I just coined it. It's sometimes it's possible, coincidentally, it's a terminology. In research citation, it's a terminology in research design, but for citation, I don't think so. Yes, we did practicals. We talked about topic appraisal, abstract appraisal, full text appraisal. We have told you that it is not everything that you have to read. Otherwise, you get overwhelmed. So you read, study. Either you're reading with your system or you're writing it down in a paper, in a book, in your research book. Paraphrase and cite. Thank you very much. See you next time. Thank you very much, Adams and the team for inviting me. It has been a pleasure. And I have seen the engagement from the team members themselves. So that is very good. That's encouraging. Yeah, because most times when organizations organize training like this, you don't see their team members. So at least I've seen your secretary and two other people from your team. Thank you very much for Thank you, students. It has been an amazing time with you. I'm happy to share knowledge. I didn't introduce myself. I'm very sorry about that. I'm Fortune Effiong. I'm the Director for Research of Torasif. Torasif is a research organization. Our goal is to build capacity in research. We want to get students, we want to strengthen students in their research journey as early as possible. We want them to publish. It's a lie that you can publish as a student. We've had students that have published numerous papers. We have students that have attended conferences that gotten track. Okay, if you're a pharmacy student, you know Melody Okereke, you know Adebisi Yusuf. If you're public health, you know Goodness Ode. If you're a medical laboratory, you know Gabriel Oke. These are people that made exploits in research while a student. So I want to encourage you, put all your best. Start writing, start publishing, apply for grants and win. You can win grant as a student. You can apply for travel scholarships. Melody is going to Spain. Goodness is maybe just come back from France. There are opportunities for you. I know Goodness just graduated, but Debussy did a whole lot as a student and he still graduated with the first class. So you can do very well in school, in an academics, and then you are still very good in research and you're making money. There is money in it, but we don't like to tell you this because there is also so much hard work in it. So you don't chase the money and forget about the hard work and the process. And I think another important thing is the network. You get to network with people across the world because research is like a community. So you would, as you're more interested in research, you network with so many people, attend conferences, just be intentional about your professional development. I can tell you that research is a life-changing experience. If you devote your time into learning, into developing your skills, into writing, you get a lot of rejections. You get a lot of problems at first, but that is a simple ideology of life. These things will come first, but what happens if you persist? You eventually begin to win and reap the fruits of your labor. So anytime you feel down, always talk to somebody, always talk to us. Some of us have been there before. We can advise you and give you the right network, give you the right opportunity, ask questions to get assistance. So these are the ideologies we try to spread into RACIF. And we are getting students who have publications, students who are attending conferences outside the country. We're getting students who are doing a whole lot of things, getting top leadership positions, because that is what we try to preach, that you can do so much as a student. I am very happy that so many years of hard work, so many months of hard work is gradually paying off. Our ideology is making sense and people are beginning to enjoy what we do. So the mentorship program, get ready for it. I think it will also be a life-changing experience. I can assure you of that. We have been running the mentorship program for a while now. So this is gonna be just one of it. And testimonies that we've gotten have been amazing so far. So there is the last thing I want you to do is these feedbacks you're giving. Thank you very much. I appreciate them. but I want him to be on the group. Put him on the group too. Give us your feedback and review. You can also give me feedback in my DM, because these feedbacks is what we use for advocacy. And we also use it to encourage other students, other participants to. Thank you very much. So at this point, I draw the curtain for today. So Adams, Mr. Moderator, you can take over.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I actually wanted to do more of the introductions. I know it skipped your mind, but thank God you came back for it. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is Fortune Effiong. He is one of the pillars of this research training, and our mentor, my mentor. I've started learning from him long ago through their videos, interactive, and their mentorship. It is very cool. You can check it out. You can ask me for it. I will surely show you, give you links to go and see more for your own self. So, and our MPP program, we are having it with them as the greater mentors. So please, you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. As he said, it is going to be a very life-changing experience in research. So we look forward to having you there. Thank you very much, Effiong. We are really, I don't even have words to say thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, audience. If you have any question, you can also share it in the group, or you can send it to me or to Sir Effiong's Gmail. So thank you very much. The recordings will be available in the group, so you can still come back for the videos. We have learned a lot of things today, practicals and theoretical. So I advise you to come back for the videos still, so that you should make more of practice before time for the MPP. So thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. And I think we are stopping here for today. See you in the next session next week. Thank you, everyone. Okay, you are not in the group. So I don't know. I'll drop a link here in.
Sorry, you can, before you leave, just give us good night in your dialect. Sorry, this is on a lighter note. So I have started. Before you leave, just give us, I'll be the last person to leave so that I learn so many good nights. Thank you.
Okay, good night in the chat.
Asir. I didn't even spell it well. Odaro, that's Yoruba, I know that. Sorry, once you say good night, you can leave if Adams is true.
Yes, I am good night. But the link, please follow here.
Muye Pandas. I would love to know which language is this, please. Muye Panda. Sounds like Kenyan or Eastern African. Kanuri Fajara Hausa, I think. We're done with our class. It's just interacting. Sorry, Satu Eisenberg, Mansari. Just let me know your country or what language is that. Okay, West Africa. Which country? West Africa. Sierra Leone. Interesting. Let me take it again. Muya Panda. Okay. The person that said Kanuri, confirm that is Hausa, please. Kanuri Fajara. Full day. Oh, that should be your Hausa. Yeah. You know, we assume every language up north is Hausa. Saida Safi. Ah, okay. Kanuri is Medugri. Fulani is Sayango. Oh my God. Kanuri is not Hausa, it's a tribe in Medugri. Great. So Hausa is Saida Saf. That's English. Fulani says Sayango.
Yes.
Okay, so if that is all we can, Adams, you can end the meeting. I've learned a lot today. I know I will not forget, as I say, side to serve. Then I will not forget Yoruba. Or Yoruba say Odaro. Fulani say Sayango. At least I should not forget those three. Thank you very much. I'll be leaving now. See you next.